Well, good evening. It's a pleasure to have so many out tonight. I thought that Dallara IndyCar Factory would draw a few more people than our municipal center, so very much appreciate the opportunity we have to do it here. Appreciate all the work that Dallara staff and our staff have done as we've put this together. So I am Grant Kleinhens. I'll be your master of ceremonies this evening. I don't have to speak tonight, so that's a good thing. I feel like I do a lot of speaking. So I will be the MC tonight and let others speak. But welcome this evening to our State of the Town address. This is my third State of the Town address as the town manager. I'm finishing up my fourth year, which is amazing to me. But tonight we have a lot of guests here. We have a lot of volunteers, a lot of folks that have done a lot of things for Speedway, and we really appreciate each and every one of you, and some of you will be mentioned and called out, so we'll try to do that. So if you would go ahead and join me, if everyone would stand, we're going to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Remove your hats. Flag is here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I will now turn the time over to Chaplain Castle, who will give the invocation.
Please join me in an attitude of prayer. Holy and loving God, how we give you thanks for an occasion to come together to talk about this town and learn what's going on and what's coming. We thank you for all the guests here, and we ask your blessing upon our public safety workers wherever they are. We give you thanks for those who work so hard to make this town the great success that it is. We pray for a very successful 2025. We pray that you'll continue to keep all those who come here to visit safe. We thank you for the opportunity to say thank you to you for all that you do for us, and ask that you forgive us for taking so much for granted. Continue to be with us after we leave here tonight and keep us safely on our way to our homes. We give you thanks and praise and ask in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. So I wanted to thank the chaplain, and I didn't mention this and I apologize, but Chaplain Castle is our chaplain for our combined Speedway Fire and Police, so very much appreciate your service and for being willing to offer the invocation this evening. I also want to go ahead and introduce and recognize some people in the audience. I will start with our town councilors. We have 4 of the 5 here this evening, 80%, not bad, right? That's a passing grade. Nick Sturgeon is our president of the town council this year. Sarah Gardner is one of our town councilors. Jason Delisle is our vice president and president last year. And then Sean Harold is a town councilor as well. These are our 4 new councilors. Our one councilor that's a veteran is Vince Noblet, and he is tonight doing work out of town, so we excuse him. Lucky guy. I'm just kidding. I also wanted to, if there's anyone here this evening, and I see many of you who serve on one of our boards and commissions, if you could go ahead and stand up. I know who you are, so please stand. I have often said it, and I think the council would reiterate those comments. A community is only as strong as its volunteers, and our board and commission members are volunteers. They don't receive pay. They give of their time, their effort, time away from family, from employment, to provide guidance and direction to the town, and we very much appreciate that. So thank you. I also, if you are a town employee, please stand. We can't do what we do here at the town without our employees, so very much appreciate everything that you guys do and the service that you render to our residents. So tonight, we will go ahead and start with the program. We have several guest speakers, the first of which is Stefano DePonte, the CEO of Dallara IndyCar. As you know, Dallara was one of the first businesses that kind of located here on Main Street as part of the Renaissance and redevelopment in 2009, 2010. Very much appreciate their foundational building here, and it does lend us a lot of credence and credibility around the world, but also has attracted many other great businesses on Main Street, which we very much appreciate. We love the Motor Speedway. Is Doug here yet? But we are more than just IMS. So we do appreciate all of our corporate partners, and Dallara is one of those. So I will turn the time over to Stefano. We also will hear this evening from Dr. Kyle Trebley, our Speedway School Superintendent, as well as Doug Bowles, who will be here shortly, I'm sure, the president of IMS. So we'll go ahead and turn the time over to Stefano.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Gary. Good evening, everybody. I want to really express my warmest welcome to everyone, to all the city council, the manager, the authority. They are here. They, in the last 15 years, also with all your community, share this dream came true for Dallara. You mentioned, Greg, that we were the very first one to come to Speedway. I like to do a remark here to introduce the first employee of Dallara, Sam Garrett here, a proud citizen of the community of Speedway. When we started across the street 15 years ago, and then we are here to do the state of the town, proudly, and I want to also briefly to say something as a state of Dallara since the time we moved here back in 2010. First of all, I want to convey also the best regards and thank you for all you guys' support, the support of the town from the Dallara family, Andrea Pontremoli, and all the board of Dallara for allowed me also to be here today and talk about Dallara, speak about Dallara during this journey. Just a few milestones. I'm sure some of y'all remember the picture. So back in 2010, when after some activities between Dallara and the town, we did reach finally an agreement to set Dallara first bricks here in Main Street Speedway, and that was actually the groundbreaking. And we did a few things since then. We started as basically a distribution center. Because I like to remember that Dallara as a small engineering company back in '97 when we were awarded to support the IRL with the cars and the chassis to race in the Indy 500, we were basically unknown. Nobody knew about Dallara back in the days. And even when we started, everything was designed, manufactured in Italy, and shipped over to the United States. Sam Garrett, as an engineer in liaison with the company in Italy, was taking care of the technical side, and I came on board in 2001 to do the commercial side. So basically, I was here try to make the customers happy and selling spare parts, which is most of the time, we're lacking of, and we were not enough for all the situation we had at the Speedway. Then gradually we switch and transfer some of the manufacturing and some of the engineering from Italy into this building. And obviously we started to hire more people with skills and try to accomplish more activities and targeting the support of the IndyCar series here out of this building. And until then, we grow. I don't know how many of you do know right now that in 2025 in this building, we are taking care for engineering, so that means designing, technical support, and manufacturing of all the motorsports in North America. racing series, so including IndyCar, obviously, Indy Light, the autonomous vehicle that we do with Indy Light chassis, NASCAR, IMSA, working with the two major manufacturers, Cadillac and BMW. And as well as another things we want to point it out, as we are so busy in racing and motorsports, we thought to expand in defense and aerospace. And again, another achievement we accomplished here in this building with the people that work in here. I don't know how many of you guys know that we are designing and building component for the Dragon 9 capsule of SpaceX behind this building. This cannot be done in Italy, cannot be done anywhere else, at least in the United States, because obviously they're working under ITAR regulation. And we are very proud of that because they gave us the confidence and the support on what we do in racing. We are able to develop the same technology and engineering in aerospace and defense. To mention defense, we do engineering and manufacturing for special seats for the US Army and for another private company that work for the DoD, also behind this building. So from the external point of view, we seem very small and very inactive, but there's a lot that's going on. Finally, another great accomplishment. Last May, I'm sure you remember, we announced two things. One, the partnership with Purdue University. Started in summer 2025, we will host here the engineering course for the motorsports. And as far as I remember, this is the only diploma or undergrad study recognized all over the world. A university such as Purdue, there's no any other equivalent university in the world that can combine the engineering and concentration in motorsports. So we are very proud of that, to run this in this town, in this building. Also, in another company that we had we formed a partnership with an esport company famous in Europe called AK Esports Video Games. And we accomplished a partnership with them. We created Dallara AK Esports. The mission of this activity will be behind entertainment, just to have video games and simulators. But he will enhance the academy point of view, the educational point of view, try to be very active with the school, university, and try to get the students involved in university all over the world to compete on esports games as soon as possible, whenever the rules will be ready. We share also some ideas that to introduce this kind of games in Olympic committee level. So, and we will have a big, obviously, involvement from here. So these are very, very important milestone and goals we accomplish. And I have to say we cannot make it without, obviously, the support of the town, the support of you as an individual, to be a fans of Dallara, to support in everything that we do. We have just announced and agree in another investment here that we allowed us to do more internal work, more jobs for engineering and technician in this building. And this plan has been approved lately, and we are looking forward to start on that. I want to thank you really from the deep of my heart and for all the support and help. And I really wish that this State of the Town, it will be a regular basis to be held at Dallara. I know there's other building, maybe they're jealous, they wanted to do it on the other side, but at least I would really appreciate if we can keep this date on a regular basis and come back here in this building. So thank you very much for your attendance. Thank you very much for being here. Again, thanks very much for the support. And thank you very much for being such a great community that make me feel proud to be here and recognize Speedway Town of Speedway citizens. Thank you.
Mr. Bowles has arrived, so I'm going to go from my 12-minute to 4-minute speech for the schools. Last year I was last. I was working my way to the beginning, but as you can see, I was sandwiched in the middle. So that's okay, because ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and members of Speedway community, I stand before you today on behalf of the school town of Speedway. We have, I believe, 2 school board members here, Tom Smith, Adam Gonzalez, if you'd like to wave, Assistant Superintendent John Disney, filled with continued immense pride and gratitude as we reflect on incredible accomplishments of Speedway schools. The genesis of Speedway schools dates back to 1928, when a group of dedicated parents sought to establish a local school corporation for the newly founded town of Speedway in 1926. Their vision led to a creation of school town of Speedway, ensuring local control over educating their kids. Nearly a century later, that mission remains strong. We continue to uphold our mission, we cultivate an outstanding culture, and inspire excellence among our educators, administrators, and the entire Speedway community. Thank you, Brian. The U.S. News World Report, as you can see to your far left on both screens, we've been public school, high school, number one in the state, traditional public school last year. So when we do this speech at this point in time, you have to understand that we are right in between of all the results coming in. So we're going to go back and forth a little bit. Number one, traditional public high school in Indiana, 2324, out of over 300 schools. Number 31st, Speedway Junior High School in Indiana, 2324. AP honor roll, back to back years. Marion County achievement, number one in math, 3rd grade through 8th, number one in English, 3 through 8, number one in all subgroups I learned, 3 through 8, number one in PSAT, passing. National achievements over the last few years, we've had 2 blue ribbon schools, and I'm proud to announce now that this is kind of new news to everybody. We are a Title I National Distinguished School for James A. Allison. That puts us representing Indiana for the whole United States. Pretty impressive. Our niche, thank you. There's a lot of reports out, but I'm going to use the one that says the best about us. So niche report, number one, most diverse school districts in Indiana. Number 5, according to this report, best teachers in Indiana. Number 8, best school district in Indiana. Number 1, best school district, teachers, and most diverse in Marion County. We're extremely proud. And Speedway Schools continues to stand tall. Marion County, throughout the state and the United States for our academics. These accolades reaffirm our belief that neighborhood schools, small class sizes, and exceptional teachers are the key ingredients for student achievement. Our tradition of academic excellence remains strong. Speedway High School recently has fallen from number 1 in the state to number 4 in the state, which is 2 top 10s back to back. And we are still a leader in the state for state assessments and graduation rate. Recently, we were notified that we moved up also to number 13th, again, over 300 schools, 13th in the state with our biology assessment at Speedway High School. So this chart represents a streak of many years named among the top high schools in Indiana, earning national recognition. This year's metrics place Speedway High School as number 2 in a college breadth index, number 6 in a college readiness, and our highest ranking nationally came at the State Assessments Performance Rank, which measures how much better our Black, Hispanic, and low-income students perform compared to their expected outcomes and students at other schools. In other words, folks, we were number 1 last year, we're number 4 the following year, this year, and the slide left me. We are number 4 in the state with pretty good data that shows how we're doing it. So can you give a round of applause for the people watching that? Thank you. As far as our enrollment and other demographics in the fall of 2024, our corporation stands at 1,786 students. We have a transient population that continues to influence daily fluctuations with the possibility of enrolling anywhere or losing 8 to 10 students on any given day. That's a lot of kids going in and out. Our demographics remain consistent at 38% white students, 29% black students, 22% Hispanic, and 11% other. Our free and reduced rate has increased to 61%, and our English learner, which is now called ML, which is multilingual population, has risen to 41%, totaling approximately 735 kids. We currently have 38 different languages spoken across our corporation in the school town of Speedway. Our elementary class sizes remain at an all-time low, with an average of around 16.7 students per teacher, and that's K through 6. Our success is built on dedication of our teachers, support staff, and administrators. These passionate professionals go above and beyond to provide students with a top-tier education. Their unwavering commitment to our mission, teaching reading, writing, and math, continue to drives our achievements. Moving on to our facility project. Project A, we have two we're going to talk about tonight. Project A is moving forward. If you drive across 25th Street, you probably can see that now. As we're moving forward, the projection is to be completed in August. In this project is also on our website, if you'd like to get home and take a look at this, is a new end zone building over 11,000 square feet, varsity football locker rooms, multiple locker rooms, meeting rooms, concession stands, bathrooms, etc. There'll be a new track, new football field, new lights. This was built and we're replacing the 1962 model. Again, we're replacing the 1962 model that was falling down. If you move to Project C, again, that project will be completed in the middle of August. The second part of our project, Project C, is our Speedway Athletic Complex, which the rumors are it's called the SAC already, but there's going to be 3 courts. If you look in the middle bottom, where we'll extend 3 courts, a new weight room, concessions, and update our bathrooms and facilities. Again, that building was built in 1962, so it was time. There's also multiple other projects going around the corporation because we didn't just stop there. In these projects, we did take a look at all buildings to where we will update our mechanic rooms and a lot of the other buildings built in 1956 and 59. We're the junior high and newbie, looking at a new basketball court that's been multiple years used, and it's time to move forward on that with their mechanic rooms and other structural base. So those are the projects that are going around the corporation. In conclusion, we're immensely proud of Speedway Schools, what we've achieved. And I would like to say a few plugs for our community coming up. Speedway, spark plugs. Thank you for the laugh. Keeping it short, Mr. Bowles is here. I need to move on. I got it. April 4th, 5th, Speedway Drama Department's presenting Freaky Friday. The Speedway Lions Club will host the famous pancake breakfast after celebrating over 57 years, and that's this Saturday, March 1st, from 8 to 11 a.m. Our high school and junior high bands, there's too many names to name, but they've done a tremendous job, continue to impress, excelling in solo ensemble competitions. Remember, I did this in March. In 2014, in the athletic side, our baseball team won sectionals, and 24, our cross-country team had 4 regional qualifiers. Morgan Smith qualified for the state meet, and our boys were conference champs. This just keeps on going. And 25, our winter sports, 3 qualified for wrestling, and I love this part. We had our first girls wrestling at Speedway High School, and they did advance to the regional semi-state, so our girls wrestling team. All right, here's a great 2 last things. 58% of our high school of 600 kids participate in athletics. 58%. Our school is alive and well. Our kids do participate, and you saw our demographics. It's a wonderful thing to see. And finally, again, Allison Elementary winning the Distinguished Title I Elementary School for the state of Indiana is just tremendous. So I thank you for your continued support, and always go spark plugs. But at this time, I would like to welcome to our next speaker, the one and only and the kind, the IMS and IndyCar president, Mr. Doug Bowles. Thank you.
Well, Mr. President and Mr. Vice President, counselors, Mr. Town Manager, Dr. Superintendent, I guess. Mr. Bowles is my dad. So I go by Doug, so I would have, and we always tease each other about that, but I'm just going to call you Doctor until you start calling me Doug. So there you go. How about that, though? Really, it's kind of fun to sit here. Who wouldn't love to represent an organization like the Speedway Schools when you can rattle off those amazing statistics? And it is really the anchor of why this community is so special. It's because it starts with the way that we educate our kids. We get to have an amazing racetrack and an amazing race every year, but it really is a community. And I think I've told you all this before. When I'm out traveling around and folks say, what is it that makes the Indy 500 and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway so special? I say it's two things. It's history and tradition. We've been around since 1909, racing the Indy 500 since 1911. But it's really the residents. It's really the town in which the Indianapolis Motor Speedway sits, and the way that everybody embraces the events that take place here, the pride we have in community, the pride we have in our neighbors. It really is the secret sauce that nobody can replicate. It doesn't matter where you go, where the racetracks are, nobody can replicate what we have in this town. And it's something that obviously Roger Penske knew when he bought the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, because he's been coming here as a competitor since the late 60s. His first time here was in 1951. But when he got a chance really to walk around town and see things, especially during 2020 and COVID, when he'd walk around and get to interact with people, residents outside when we were all outside, he realized that what makes us special is the town of Speedway. And I think seeing Kyle there go through all of those things that are so important to this community really makes us all proud. You know, I live in Zionsville, Indiana. I was born in Indianapolis. I went to Danville High School. But my home, frankly, is right here in the town of Speedway. I spend more time here than I spend in Zionsville. I spend more time here than I spend anywhere else. I love walking up and down Main Street and running into so many of you. I love it when we're walking up and down Main Street and there are people from all over the world who show up on our Main Street, and how proud we are to showcase what we do in a small town in the middle of a big city so better than anyone else on earth. So we're 89 days away from the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500. I have to say that every time I speak. It is my North Star, if you will. It's the thing that keeps me going. 14 days ago, however, I got added a little bit of business to my world, and my wife has not seen me much since then. But I am trying to help right now guide the NTT IndyCar Series. We start our first race this weekend in St. Petersburg. If you have lived under a rock, you haven't heard this. If you haven't, you know that Fox is our new TV partner. And if you watch the Super Bowl, for the first time really in our history, we had Super Bowl ads not just in the Indiana markets, but nationally around the Indianapolis 500 and the series, and in particular around three of our star drivers, Joseph Newgarden, Pato O'Ward, and Alex Palou. The partnership has been outstanding. What we have to do as a series is deliver on track so that the eyeballs that we hope show up because of the partnership with Fox are as good as we hope that they'll be this Sunday. So please help us. Tell all your friends and family. Tune in to Fox. It's pretty cool that we have it on Fox, Channel 59, locally, every single race. You don't have to go find it somewhere else. You know where it is all year long. I can't wait to get that started, and I hope on Monday we're celebrating an amazing television crowd and getting things started. I can tell you that the folks at the Firestone Grand Prix in St. Petersburg say their ticket sales are better than they've ever been. They had to build new suites. Kevin Savary, who's the promoter down there, is so proud of the suite he's built there. It's 920 feet long, he told me. He's so excited that he's got about a fifth of a mile of suites along the streets down there in St. Petersburg, so it's going to be a great way to kick the series off. We have a lot of things in front of us as a series we've got to manage through. If you follow the sport, you know, new car, new engine, all of those things are being talked about. So I have to get my arms around that pretty quickly. Little anecdote for you. I was asked on Friday to go to Germany yesterday and to go through, because we have a whole host of experts that are really helping us define what the future of the IndyCar series could look like as it relates to engines and cars, and we're still working through that. I started looking at flights. If I would have left last night to get into Germany so that I could be at the meeting tomorrow, I finally just said, hey, just send me a link. I'll get on the call. So I have my first call with a lot of folks in Germany tomorrow at, I think, 4:30 in the morning. So that'll be entertaining. Although it's better than flying there and then trying to figure out how to get back for the St. Pete race. So that's all great news for the series, the Fox relationship. I think we're going in a fantastic direction as it relates to there. The Indianapolis 500. This sounds like a broken record. So last year I told you our ticket sales were better than the year before, which were better than the year before, and you kind of go all the way back, with the exception of 2016. This morning we were 9,200 units up on where we were last year at this point in time. So we sort of projected things out, and if we sold tickets like we did last year from here to the end, we're going to soon, in May, we're going to sell more tickets than we have seats. So the good news in that is I hope that we can actually sell out grandstand seats for the Indianapolis 500, which then brings up the question I always get asked, what about the delay? Everybody asks me, what about the blackout? I like to call it a delay in this market because part of what we do in Indianapolis is we go to the race and we go home and we fall asleep about halfway through the race as we're watching what we might have missed. So I'm hopeful. I've told the team, and the team sort of embraced this. In 2016, when we sold things out, and you might recall the big stickers that said sold out, no tickets, the whole thing. It's like raising a national championship banner. So we're all wanting to raise a national championship banner. The good news of that for all of us means that instead of 340,000 people in the town of Speedway on race day this year, we should have close to 350,000 people in the town of Speedway. So we're really, really looking forward to trying to work through that. So that's the good news. Our racing schedule is essentially the same this year as it was last year, highlighted by obviously the month of May. Then we've got our NASCAR race. We are adding sprint cars to Sprint Week. We will kick off Sprint Week on the dirt track here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which will be unique. If you came to the midget race last year, you realized that we put the bigger cars, we put 10 of them. So we're trying to think through exactly how that's going to look, but anxious to kick off Indiana Sprint Week here in the town of Speedway where it probably belongs. And then the BC 39 will actually be ahead of that on July 1st and 2nd, I believe. So we'll get through those two dirt track races. We've got our NASCAR race in July. I'm hopeful that going forward, instead of not knowing where the Brickyard weekend is going to be and bouncing all over the schedule, that we can sit back in what is our traditional Brickyard 400 schedule at the end of July, 1st of August. So hopefully that will stay going forward. And then obviously our 6-hour IMSA race in September, followed by the middle of October this year, the Indy 8-hour, to sort of close things off in terms of our big events. Mostly, I just want to thank the town. It is, like I said, there's nothing more fun than walking up and down Main Street, grabbing a coffee at the now 27 coffee shops I think we have within walking distance of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which is fantastic. And all the different places where you can take somebody to eat. One other thing I'll add, April 2nd, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum will open to the public. I am so excited about the story that you can tell about the town and about the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and in particular the Indy 500 through this new museum. They are now starting to load the cars back in. They've been off-site in storage, and it's going to be a way that if you're a race fan, you will love it. If you're not a race fan and you're trying to or if you are a race fan, you're trying to bring people who aren't race fans through, I think it will engage them, captivate them. The highlight of it is called the starting line experience, where you literally get ready to walk around a corner and you see two videos of yellow shirts telling you when you can go in and when you can't, which is perfect with the whistles. And then you walk in and literally a big massive screen overhead down to the front, 3 cars in the front, like you're literally standing on the grid behind the front row. And there's about a 6-minute video that takes place with video everywhere as if you're standing on the front stretch at the start of the Indianapolis 500. Some of you who've been around, you know a guy by the name of Kevin Blanche, Rocket. He's the tech guy. He was back in my Panther days. He was our crew chief. We went over and showed it to him the other day, and without complete rendering in terms of the video and without the bass and the sound, I turned around and Kevin Blanche is crying at the very beginning because it is so moving. It's going to be very great. And then when you walk out into that, just to see the cars, there's a new mezzanine. The basement is open for everybody, so it's part of the tour now. I think as folks that live and work in this town, we're going to be really proud of that as a way to showcase our community and certainly showcase the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But again, on behalf of everybody, including Roger Penske, Mark Miles, Allison, all of us who spend 7 days a week here in town, and like I said, I spend more time here than I spend at home. Thank you so much for taking care of us. Thank you so much for working alongside of us. Thank you so much for, in a lot of ways, being the real PR team that makes the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the Indy 500 so special. Look forward to the next 89 days as we roll into 109, and I look forward to seeing many of you on Main Street. Take care. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug, Stefano, and Dr. Trebley for joining us tonight. Your presence is always appreciated at the State of the Town. And thank you all for being here this evening with us. I am Nick Sturgeon. I am the president of the Town Council for this year. And it is my honor to reflect on 2024 and look ahead to what's next for Speedway in 2025. We've made tremendous strides as your council. We're more committed than ever to serving this great community with integrity and purpose. Before we dive into the details, I want to extend my gratitude to the individuals who make this town thrive: our department leaders, community volunteers, town employees, school staff, and you, our residents. Your dedication truly powers Speedway. Let's acknowledge with a round of applause. Speedway is thriving because we work strategically and think ahead. The good happening here is a result of careful planning, collaboration, and a shared vision to continue our growth. Tonight, we celebrate what we've achieved, but we'll also look forward to the future, to the exciting projects and opportunities that lie ahead. First, thank you to Town Manager Grant Kleinhans for his leadership in ensuring a smooth operation of our daily functions and guiding us towards continued growth in 2025. In 2024, we completed key projects like the door ordinance, which revitalized our Main Street with new energy, and the installation of the Speedway Gateway sign on Crawfordsville Road, providing a warm welcome to all of the visitors that come into town. We also finalized the golf cart ordinance, which I did see one golf cart out here in the parking lot, and we finalized the golf cart ordinance and graduated 24 new members from the Town Residence Academy, engaging them in the life of our community. On the infrastructure front, we made important strides. We selected RQAW for the CSO expansion planning at the wastewater plant and secured a $100,000 grant for lead service line investigations. The Leopardo Group was selected for the wastewater treatment plant methane gas generator guaranteed energy savings project, which will help us more efficiently and operate more efficiently and sustainably. And we begin the design of the repaving of 25th Street, which I know is much needed. This will improve safety and accessibility. These projects reflect our commitment to forward-thinking planning, but none of this would be possible without the hard work of our department staff, which you will hear more about here shortly. Together, we are shaping the future of Speedway. Now I'm pleased to introduce my fellow counselor, Vice President Jason Delisle, who will speak on the outstanding work of our police and fire departments.
Thank you, Nick. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for being here tonight. My name is Jason Delisle. I'm the current Vice President of the Speedway Town Council. It's my pleasure to highlight the incredible work of our Speedway Police Department under the leadership of Chief Charles Upchurch, Deputy Chief Sam Alexander, and Deputy Chief Robert Dime. The department's commitment to public safety was certainly evident in 2024 with several significant accomplishments. Officers now have upgraded bulletproof vests, and we've replaced the remaining fleet vehicles to ensure that they can perform their duties safely and efficiently. We expanded our surveillance capabilities with 3 new Flock automatic license recognition cameras, which aid in investigations and enhance public safety. In addition, we hired 2 new code enforcement officers to strengthen our community standards. In 2024, the department responded to over 27,000 calls for service, made nearly 900 arrests, and issued over 300 code enforcement tickets, continuing their mission to protect and serve the town of Speedway. On behalf of the Town Council, I'd like to take a moment to thank our officers for all of their work to keep the town of Speedway safe. Under the leadership of Chief Bob Fishburne and Assistant Chief Chris Milhorn, the Speedway Fire Department responded to over 3,400 incidents. 38% of those incidents involved accidents and fires, and 62% were medical runs. In 2024, the department acquired a new fire engine, ensuring that our firefighters have the latest technology to respond efficiently. All personnel met ISO training requirements, demonstrating the department's dedication to maintaining the higher standards of fire service training. And the department worked to increase fire safety awareness by providing educational resources to the community, especially targeting younger generations. On Memorial Day weekend, the greatest spectacle in racing grows our population to nearly 350,000. Our Speedway Police Department and Speedway Fire Department successfully managed the safety and security of hosting major racing events at IMS. And we thank all of our officers and firefighters for their service in keeping our town and our many visitors safe. I'd also like to thank our Public Works team, which work behind the scenes but play a vital role in our day-to-day lives. From maintaining our streets to ensuring the operations of our water and wastewater systems, their efforts keep Speedway functioning. The Speedway Street Department is led by Street Commissioner Rob Wetnight and Deputy Commissioner Jared Sutton. The Street Department maintains 48 miles of roadway and cuts over 45 acres of grass on right-of-way land. They salt and plow the streets during winter and dispose of hundreds of tons of debris with weekly street sweeping. The street crew picked up nearly 900 tons of yard waste last year and maintained additional trash and recycle bins along our trails and streets. In 2024, our street department completed a major asphalt project funded by an $800,000 grant. They invested in new equipment to maintain our infrastructure, including a remote-controlled mower and new trucks. And they also worked with the Transportation Committee to install new radar speed limit signs. On top of that, they helped secure over 90 lost or stray animals in partnership with the Speedway Animal Rescue. Brad Sloan is our superintendent of Speedway wastewater and stormwater treatment plant. Brad and his team treated nearly 1.5 billion gallons of wastewater and returned clean water to Eagle Creek. That's hard to imagine. In 2024, new equipment was installed and crucial upgrades were made to ensure proper and efficient operations. The wastewater department worked diligently to maintain a satisfactory IDEM rating with 0 deficiencies. And they're exploring energy-saving options like converting methane gas into energy. Speedway Waterworks is overseen by Superintendent Ronnie Smith. Ronnie and his staff are responsible for the operations and maintenance of 60 miles of water distribution lines, 5,000 connections to homes and businesses, and almost 500 fire hydrants. In 2024, the water plant produced just under 2 million gallons of clean drinking water. Construction of a new garage was completed, and important equipment enhancements were made to ensure the continuity of operations. Our Waterworks team continues to provide reliable service, upgrading meters and infrastructure to ensure the highest water quality for our residents. Thank you, Rob, Jared, Brad, Ronnie, and the entire Public Works team for your dedication to our community. Next, I'd like to introduce Councilor Sarah Gardner, who will share updates on Parks and Rec, communications, and our world-famous Speedway Community Television.
Thank you, Jason. Good evening, everyone. I'm Councilor Sarah Gardner, and I'm thrilled to talk about the incredible work of our Parks and Recreation Department, led by Tammy Smith, who's here tonight. In 2024, the Parks completed a comprehensive master plan to guide future developments. They installed pickleball courts at Leonard Park, which enhanced recreational options, and both parks saw a much-needed restroom improvement. To support our growing needs, we also added a part-time park assistant and a full-time ground staff member. In May, Parking Cars raised over $10,000 to support the parks and recreational programs, along with some concert funding provided through $10,000 in scholarships. Speedway Parks and Recs was once again the host to successful summer camps, concerts in the park, market in Meadowood, and many other events, including the 4th annual West Indy Arts and Music Fest, Public Safety and Service Community Day at Leonard Park, Trunk or Treat, Light the Night, and a Veterans Resource Fair. Hundreds of residents and visitors attended these events, and businesses, civic groups, and residents partnered to make them successful. Thank you, Tammy, for your tireless work that you put into keeping our parks top-notch, and for the recreational opportunities you provide year-round. Under the leadership of Communications Director Cheryl McElroy, who will be hiding, but she's wearing bright pink, our town's communication efforts continue to grow. Cheryl keeps our residents informed through social media, the town's website, a new community newsletter, media, press releases, and public updates. In 2024, we reached over 200,000 people on Facebook and had 50 local media stories about our town. Cheryl produced communication for projects such as the DORA Ordinance, Gateway Signage Project, the Golf Cart Ordinance, street and parking restrictions, as well as town events. In 2024, over 50 events ran through communications for processing, which includes ribbon cuttings for businesses, Run 317, the Holler Parade, the Fall Scarecrow Display, and winter holiday lights on Main Street, as well as the Movies on Main program and tonight's event of the State of the Town. Cheryl's largest event of the year is the Rockin' on May event. Last year, we saw over 7,000 people attend this event, and it was fully funded through generous business and community sponsorships of over $26,000. Additionally, we continued our 5-year partnership with Nashville recording artist Clayton Anderson. This contract includes the stage, sound system, crew, performance, and this equates to a $50,000 value at no cost to the town. Thank you, Cheryl, for your continued communication efforts and all that you do to keep us informed, engaged, and connected to the community. Thank you, Cheryl. All right, and the guys behind the camera, the Speedway Community Television, or SCTV, is Speedway's hometown channel. So you'll see them filming tonight. You'll see them filming during meetings. They are managed by Brian Pierce and Promotions Director Bill P. SCTV supports the town by producing videos that cover public meetings and help share information about town projects and events. In 2024, SCTV reached over 30,000 views on YouTube and produced almost 200 videos, helping to inform and engage the public. SCTV produced promotional videos that support town events, initiatives, and programs, including the Year in Review video that you will see here tonight shortly. Thank you, Brian and Bill, for your outstanding work.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Sean Harold, and I would like to take a moment to highlight the important work done by our Human Resources Department, led by HR Manager Nikki Parker. In 2024, Nikki created a salary and benefits benchmark report for each department, comparing our compensation packages with other municipalities. The town's First Stop Health initiative was launched, offering free telehealth and mental health services to our staff. Employee engagement events such as a pancake breakfast, taco truck luncheon, chili cook-off all helped strengthen our work culture. Nikki also created a bi-monthly newsletter to keep our employees informed on town events and accomplishments. So thank you, Nikki, for all of your work in supporting our town employees. We are also deeply grateful for the hundreds of volunteers who serve on our boards and commissions. Their dedication is essential to the success of our community. In 2024, the Housing Advisory Commission completed major projects like Speedway Home Helpers, where volunteers repaired homes and partnered with the Speedway Lions Club to improve yards. The Library Board eliminated late fees, enhancing access to services, while the Public Transportation Board introduced radar signs to promote safety on our roads. The Board and Zoning Appeals approved new construction on the former Burger Chef property, and the Redevelopment Commission completed key projects, including the Gateway sign and Plaza on Main. The Solid Waste Commission hosted a successful community cleanup day, engaging volunteers in making Speedway cleaner and more vibrant. So thank you to all of the volunteers for your contributions, which make our community stronger each year. And with that, I believe we have a video. All right.
Jobs available.
Wanted to go back in for his bear.
If I get the opportunity to give and just help somebody out, you know, I'm running towards that, and you know, y'all appreciate the helmets. Yes. See stuff like that, you know. So that's why I do it.
Rockin' on Main is literally just a large party on the best street in the best town in the United States.
We got the good life. We got the good life. And this is what it feels like. We got the good life. The good life. Let's go! Cheers!
even if it was just safe. Like,
I know it's not everybody's baby, and the plan would be.
Good evening. I'm Philip Faust, the town's clerk treasurer, and it is great to hear about the accomplishments within our town and reminded of the traditions we continue to carry forward. But how did we pay for it? And more importantly, how will we pay for it going forward? We do have some difficult questions to answer, and we must face financial uncertainty head on and with eyes wide open. Before I delve further into the town's finances, please allow me to thank the deputy clerks within my office. We are a small team, but we manage licensing and permitting, payroll, accounts receivable, accounts payable, utility billing, debt payments, and financial and other regulatory reporting for the town. We have made significant improvements on our back-end processes to increase efficiency and guard against waste and fraud. And my staff has done so while continuing to provide actual human-to-human customer service, which we all know is increasingly rare in this day and age. So to my team, thank you. Turning back to the financial state of the town, you may have heard about a few proposals at the State House. And to be sure, property tax is one of our main sources of revenue. Now, I'm not a doomsayer on this issue. I think property tax reform is overdue. And I think most cities and towns can afford to cut some fat. If we're honest, Speedway is no exception, although I think we do a better job than most at keeping ourselves thin. But if our message to the governor, the General Assembly, and our neighbors here in town is that we can't afford any reduction in property tax revenue, we lose credibility. This is especially true when Hoosiers are hurting from property taxes that have risen sharply over the past few years due to increases in assessed values. Those increases have led many of us to question what it really means to own property in this state, when an owner can make his final mortgage payment, retire, and then must continue to pay taxes on property. That question is even harder to answer when the owner discovers his payments increase based not on new improvements that he made to his property, but on inflation. The increases to value are of little to no consolation when he will not see them unless and until he sells or dies. With the backdrop of uncertainty for property taxes at the State House, let me walk you through our primary financials. First, our assets. In addition to the physical property that the town owns, we do maintain healthy reserves. How much is enough, you might ask? Well, the clerk treasurer and me says more. But we are doing well on that end. What we need to think about is what we do with those reserves, how and where we invest them. And the way we answer that is to think about the return on the investment and the safety for the investment. Now, we're rightly limited on how we can invest money. There's no gambling or Bitcoin for us. So really what we need to focus upon is on the safety of those fairly limited returns. Safety in finance means diversification. Shortly after I first took office, you may remember a little thing called Silicon Valley Bank and its failure. Well, for someone who'd been in office for 2 months and was responsible for the town's finances, that reminded me that we don't want to keep all our eggs in one basket. So one of the first moves I made was to take a substantial amount of reserves, about $2 million, and move it to another banking institution. Now, there were no problems with our current banking institution. It was solvent. But a prudent approach is to make sure that we would have money available if there were to be a problem with that bank. Moving on from assets, we consider revenues. As we've already discussed, Property taxes are a huge part of our general fund, which we use to fund police and fire services. Depending upon the scale of the reforms that are finally adopted at the State House, we may need to consider raising other taxes, but we don't have good options in that regard. Local income tax is another significant source of funds, but it is controlled by the county, not by the town. Our utilities are funded by fees. Unfortunately, we need to prepare for increases there already. Under our new contract for trash and recycling services, Waste Management's charges will go up each year. So while we think we got a good bargain, we will have to address those increases regularly. Also, the Department of Environmental Management is requiring the sewer plant to implement significant upgrades to our combined sewer overflow system. Currently, we think that will cost $15 to $20 million. It is difficult to see how we could fund that without raising sewer rates within the next few years. Turning from revenues to expenses, if we have limited control over our revenues, we must do more with less. That's something Speedway is good at. One area that we have made progress on is in health insurance. Health insurance is a multi-million-dollar expense. At my urging, the town council took a bold step to try self-insurance in 2024 and to continue it in 2025. With that change, we took responsibility for the majority of the health claims incurred by employees and the families on our health plan. We still limited our exposure by keeping stop-loss insurance to protect against larger claims. More importantly, we began to take control of our health plan with one eye to cost savings and the other on providing better benefits and outcomes to our plan members. At the end of 2024, we had over $800,000 in our self-insurance fund. That is money that would have gone directly to our insurance carrier's pocket had we remained fully insured. While some 2024 claims are still outstanding and can be submitted by healthcare providers, I anticipate that we will have saved the town between $500,000 and $750,000 by self-insuring for 2024, and we need to build on that progress going forward. On the other hand, we've been hit hard in 2025 with significant premium increases for property and casualty insurance. Managing that risk will be a major focus for 2025 and 2026. Another major expense is payroll, which will have to be managed as we try to be competitive with surrounding communities while also recognizing the reality of our revenue situation. Another significant expense we can expect to increase is IT and cybersecurity. Small towns and utilities are targets for hackers and ransomware. As threat actors continue to become more sophisticated, we will have to adapt, and that adaptation will cost money. Turning from expenses, now let's go to debt. More sophisticated financial gurus than I will tell you a town budget is not the same as your household budget. And I suppose they're right. But I still firmly believe that no debt is good debt. There may be necessary debt or debt that is better than the alternative, but debt limits us. It constrains future decisions. It's inefficient because future tax dollars are spent on interest rather than for direct payment of services and goods. Maintenance of debt is a cottage industry. It requires lawyers, municipal advisors, trustees, banks, and so a significant portion of my time is spent on managing our debt. To be fair, there are structural factors within our state and federal system that incentivize debt for local government. The truth is we won't be able to avoid it completely. After all, $15 to $20 million sewer projects require debt. But we should avoid it when not necessary. Looking at our assets, revenues, expenses, and debt, we can choose to view potential property tax reform as an impending disaster or as a wake-up call. As a reminder that every tax dollar spent is taken from our neighbors. And because the majority of those dollars are spent on essentials like schools, police, fire, clean water, sewer, streets, and parks. We know that we can't afford to treat any department as if they're above review. Every expenditure must be scrutinized. Fluff must be cut. We have to guard against waste and fraud so that we have the funds to continue to execute on our core missions. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. I appreciate that overview of our financial status as of 2024 and 25 and what we are going to be looking forward to from this General Assembly. We should all be proud of the progress we have seen here in Speedway over the past year and truly over the last 15 years. Our Main Street is thriving and the areas near I-465 continue to improve. But we know there is always more work to do. I'm excited to share what lies ahead. In 2025, Speedway stands posed for an even brighter future, balancing the preservation of our rich history with new growth and innovation. We are committed to building a vibrant and thriving community, one that honors our past while creating lasting opportunities for future generations. Together, residents, businesses, and leaders will shape Speedway into a place we continually are proud to call home. We are committed to transparency and actively strive to keep the community informed. Last year, legal action was initiated by Indianapolis Mortgage Holder 1 LLC, an affiliate of 33 Degrees and Hotel Equities. The legal action was to foreclose its mortgage on the Wilshire Hotel site, which is owned by Wilshire Hotel LLC. The town is not party to that lawsuit, but the town continues to monitor the litigation. In that lawsuit, the various defendants have obtained time extensions from the court, extending their deadlines for filing any formal response to the complaint initiated by Indianapolis Mortgage Holder 1 LLC. Other than the initial complaint, there have not been any substantive filings in the lawsuit to date. The town remains in communication with the various parties to try to facilitate development of the project. The town continues to carefully evaluate its options to bring a resolution to this project that protects the town and its citizens. The town will continue to evaluate any additional actions necessary as the situation unfolds. The town has not ruled out taking legal action to protect the town's interest. Now, looking ahead, the much anticipated Crawfordsville Road pedestrian improvements will begin enhancing safety for all travelers, and the 25th Street reconstruction will move forward to improve infrastructure and experience. Our town zoning code will be completed, guiding our growth and careful consideration. Founder Square will continue to evolve with the building of a new school. As we continue to prioritize infrastructure improvements, we understand the frustration many of you have voiced regarding the traffic flow around Founder Square, especially when Crew Car Wash is at full capacity. The town is fully aware of these challenges, and we appreciate your patience. As construction progress with this development, the addition of the Montessori School will not only be a great asset to our community, but it will also include a new road that we anticipate will significantly reduce the congestion you are currently experiencing. Actually, we all are experiencing if we go to Crew. The development has been delayed in several ways since the COVID situation in 2020 and 2021, and the schedule improvements with the completion of the various projects will make a difference. We have also reached out to Crew to discuss changes needed from their end to improve the flow of traffic. Additionally, we are hiring an engineering firm to do a further traffic analysis with recommendations for additional improvements. We are establishing a code enforcement advisory committee and applying for grants for fund projects. We are making crucial investments in our public safety infrastructure, upgrading gear for our fire department, introducing a part-time officer program for our police, and enhancing traffic safety measures. In addition, we will invest in new vehicles and equipment to maintain and improve our town's public spaces, continuing to upgrade our water and wastewater systems, and explore sustainable energy solutions like solar power for our wastewater plant. On the cultural front, we are committed to keeping Speedway a hub for community engagement and entertainment. We'll continue the successes of Movies on Main and Rockin' on Main, ensuring these events continue to bring our community together. We will move forward by elevating communication efforts and exploring new ideas and tools, including the feasibility of a new phone app. Our parks will continue to be a focus with plans of additional security cameras and playground improvements as the budget allows. We will work to secure sponsorship donations for summer concerts and entertainment at the Plaza on Main. In 2025, we will also remain focused on our workforce, developing our employees, fostering succession planning, and creating new opportunities for growth. Together, we will continue to build on the strengths of the past while creating a model of innovation, sustainability, and community spirit. The road ahead is full of promise, and with your continued support, we will ensure that Speedway's future is brighter than ever. Thank you for your commitment to our town's success. As this evening's program concludes, I want to express my gratitude to all of you in attendance tonight. Thank you to the town employees whose dedication makes Speedway a great place to live. Again, thank you to our guest speakers, Dr. Trebley and Doug Bowles, and Chaplain Castle for the blessings for tonight's gathering, and a special thank you to Stefano DePonte and the Dallara team for hosting us, and to the Speedway Lions Club, OCNA, and SAR for providing the refreshments and information. I also want to thank my fellow counselors for their unwavering dedication to making Speedway a better place. Your efforts are invaluable, and together we will continue to lead this town to an even brighter future. In closing, as we continue into 2025, let us embrace the beauty, history, and community spirit that makes Speedway exceptional. Together, we will ensure this town remains a place of opportunity and pride for generations to come. Thank you for your support, and God bless the town of Speedway, and good night.